Well, hello, everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to our Business on Purpose Roundtable for the Gies College of Business at the University of Illinois. We have three terrific faculty members from the school. We're going to talk about their research, their love of teaching, their passion as academics, what attracted them to the field that they study, and what you can expect if you enter the Gies College of Business as either an undergraduate or a graduate student. So let me introduce our three professors, Ravi Mehta, Clara Chen, and Maria Rojas. So let's start with Maria. Maybe you can give us a feeling for, what and who inspired you to become an academic in the first place.
Yes. And I'll try to keep it short because I love telling stories. I love hearing stories too. But it really started, it was not a direct path. So I was born and raised in Guatemala, and my dad was the manager for one of the most iconic brands there, which is a brand of beer called Gallo. And so I knew from early on that I wanted to be a marketer. I was a little bit of a strange child. And that's what I was doing. After, I got my undergraduate degree, I got my MBA, and I was doing brand management. But then what started to frustrate me a little bit, and this is my why, was that I didn't feel that that I had enough time working in industry to really go deep and understand why. Like I would see, for example, that Hispanic consumers tend to be more brand loyal. And that was enough for our purposes. But I was like, no, I want to understand why. And it was this search for the why. And then I started thinking of who have I thought have like really amazing jobs. And I thought of professors that I had during my MBA. And so it was one of them, Professor Maurice Holbrook, who already retired. I reached out to him and I was like, tell me everything. What is it like to be an academic? And it really led me to believe that this is the place, and he was right and I was right, where I could devote time to research and getting into the whys. Why do consumers act a certain way? And then it obviously comes like this wonderful, activity as well of teaching and sharing this passion with students.
So you left General Mills, where you were after you got your MBA at Columbia, and became an academic.
Yes, I got my PhD from Minnesota, and couldn't be happier to be here at Illinois.
Terrific. Ravi, what about you?
So my path is pretty similar to Maria's here. I worked in industry for about 12 years. And then I was in marketing, creating these strategies to make people, buy more. I was in medical domain, cath labs. But that was just not enough for me. It was more, why are people making these decisions? Why are consumers making these decisions? So just having the knowledge that they are making decisions, certain particular decisions, wasn't enough for me. It was not intellectually stimulating, if you would want to say that. And I wanted to understand, why are they making these decisions, and then what impacts their decisions? So it was more about, can I, understand this more deeply? Can I create that knowledge? So that is what drove me, into academia, the love of understanding your consumers more and more deeply. So that is what, and here I am.
Makes total sense. And you got your MBA from York University and your PhD from the University of British Columbia,
That is
joining Gies as an assistant professor in 2011. Now,
that is
Claire, how about you?
Yeah, so I was pursuing a master's degree in accounting at the University of Southern California, and I took a course on management control systems taught by Professor Wim Vandersteed, and I became very interested in those topics, and I wanted to learn more. And at that time, Professor Sarah Bonner was the PhD director, and I was also taking her class. She actually encouraged me to pursue a PhD. Before her meeting with me, I had no idea that there's accounting PhD. So she encouraged me to pursue an accounting PhD, and gave me lots of papers to read and think about. And the more I read about the literature, the more I became interested in the issues, and I decided to pursue a PhD.
Which you got at USC.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So in each of your cases, what's interesting to me is, at the heart of your stories is intellectual curiosity. And I wondered, what is that curiosity? Where has it led you? What have you discovered about your subject area that you find most fascinating? Maria?
Yes, so it's actually a project that I'm currently working on. So I always hesitate because, it might be a little bit premature to share, but I'm fascinated by this topic. And it's this idea that when a brand or, a marketing campaign makes you shift your perspective or how you view the world, this notion of just seeing things differently, and it could be from one of those logos that have a hidden figure, like in FedEx, there's a little arrow in between the E and the X, or it could just be a metaphor when you hear a metaphor, and so there might be a tagline in a metaphor. It changes how you think, it changes how you view the world, or it could be like a broader issue. Lots of campaigns are doing these issues, are tackling these broader social issues that might have the message of we're all, despite our differences, at a deeper level, we are similar. So all of these shifts in perspective, what I'm finding is that if a brand facilitates them, you end up liking that brand more. And it's because you get this sense of that you're getting better at something, what we call self-efficacy. And so this is what results in more positive evaluations to these brands. And so I'm just very excited about this because it's a relatively new construct in general, but it definitely new in marketing. So I'm hoping that that's going to be something that marketers can use, because I keep thinking when I was a marketer, I wish I had known about these things, these different marketing strategies to help you connect with consumers.
Indeed. And Ravi, what's the most fascinating discovery you've made as a faculty member?
Sure. So what I said is creativity and innovation. So, in my marketing, when I was working for GE for their medical systems, I was in, new product domain. And that is where I pursued my PhD in creativity and innovation, and essentially trying to understand what makes consumers more creative? Why do they adopt new products? And then the fascinating thing for me is that these small little things in our environment, like say the lighting in this room, or the color in your background or in your environment, noise, and this is what has been my area of study too, how that impacts your creativity as a consumer. If I am ordering that coffee or a drink at Starbucks and there is a different kind of vibe there, would that impact the kind of drink I'm going to buy? And what I see is, yes, these small little things make such huge difference in our behaviors as consumers. And that is not the only thing. Then what we can do as companies, and this is what I teach new product development and innovation management, we can take these learnings from consumers inside the firm and see how we can develop new products. How can we create these innovations that consumers would be more open to trying? So this has been a fascinating journey for me, I would say, so far at least.
Absolutely. Clara, how about you?
Yeah, so my research focuses on management control systems, especially how do firms design performance measurement and incentive systems. And what I find fascinating about this area is that how companies design those systems has a huge impact on managers and employees' behavior and decisions. And they not only influence their conscious behavior, their efforts and resource allocations, but also they influence how employees process information, how managers perceive risk and uncertainty, and it also influences their creativity and innovation related to Ravi's research. And also whether managers and employees are going to engage in misconduct and whether they're willing to blow the whistle on misconduct. So there are so many consequences of performance measurement and incentive system design, and some of them are conscious, some of them are unconscious. And so I find that fascinating. So it's critical that organizations design those performance measurement and incentive systems carefully.
Now, all three of you are making me think I made a big career mistake in not becoming an academic myself, because I find that your deep dives in these topics are fascinating and and endlessly probably make you very obsessive about finding answers and solutions to challenges in the world of business. But I wonder now too, what brought you to the Gies College of Business? Clara?
So I was attracted to Gies for its collaborative and inclusive culture. We have one of the largest accounting department in the world, maybe the largest accounting department in the world, and it's a very diverse group in terms of gender, ethnicity, in terms of methodology and perspectives. So I find that really inspiring and energizing. And Gies as a whole is a very inclusive and collaborative environment. So I find that really attractive to me.
Ravi, I wonder if that was true for you as well.
That is actually absolutely true. And not only, because I study creativity and innovation. So diversity, of course, we talk about race and ethnicity, but diversity of thought, that is critical for me. And then not only Gies, Illinois as a university is a hub for that. So when I study creativity, I have people in Gies in organization behavior who study creativity, but from an organizational perspective. I study it from consumer perspective. Then we have people in strategy who study creativity and innovation from more, firm strategy perspective. Clara here, accounting. We have people in accounting who work on creativity and reward systems, as Clara was saying. We have people in engineering who study creativity and innovation. So there's huge, this diversity of thought where you bring all these people from different backgrounds, put them in a room, and then you see the sparks just go off. It's just amazing. And then we are talking about creativity here. So, and that was one of the things that was unmatched when I decided to come to Illinois, decided to come to Gies. I had other places I could go, but this is what drove me here. And of course, people are much nicer. I mean, we are in Midwest, right?
Indeed, I've been out there many times and I can attest to that fact. Maria?
Yeah,
What
so
part of Gies?
I would just add, because for me it was definitely the people and both what Ravi and Clara said, like the niceness, but also just like the intellectual powerhouse that we have here. Especially, I'm very interested in studying not just branding, but culture. And Illinois has a very, very rich history, not just the marketing department, but the university as a whole is probably one of the premier places in the world, really, when it comes to studying culture. But then the other thing that brought me here, and I'm more like the recent hire, if you will, was how visionary the Dean Brown, obviously, but also the school as a whole, because
Sure.
when everyone was thinking that they had to move online begrudgingly, Illinois was miles ahead of everyone, embracing it and truly, truly not just like trying to retrofit the education into the online mold, but really reinvent it. And it goes to like the creativity and just like the innovation that we embrace here as a school and really run with it. And again, like miles ahead of everyone. So that really attracted me. I wanted to be in a place that is so looking forward, really embracing the future.
So true. And it's why not that long ago we named your dean the Dean of the Year, in fact. And then your IMBA, the MBA of the Year, because it is so innovative and disruptive. And it frankly is the fastest growing MBA in the world. So what do you like most about teaching at the school, Maria?
Yeah, what I love teaching is, and I teach right now only in the online MBA, it is how diverse the students are, because we have
Mm.
students truly from all over the world. And and as someone that studies culture, cross-culture, it is so fascinating to see all of these different perspectives come together. And so when I'm teaching, and obviously these are big classes, but we have these live sessions that it's a little bit smaller, and so we get the opportunity to interact with the students, the ability, selfishly for me to learn so many different perspectives from people from different, not just cultural backgrounds, but as Ravi was also saying, like different experiences, and as a result, different ways of thinking, really enriches the discussions. And also, the other thing that I love is that they are so motivated. I have so much respect and admiration for our students, because they are, especially in the online MBA, they are doing these on top of their already full lives. Most of them have full-time jobs, families, everything, and they are taking the time and do it, and they are so engaged. And so, when we're having discussion, I didn't have this experience before. Sometimes in other times where I was teaching, I would ask a question, and sometimes there might be like crickets, or like waiting for someone to say. Here is the opposite. You kind of have to cut conversations short, unfortunately, because everyone has something to say and they're so excited to contribute. So it's just a joy teaching in that program.
True. And I think, part of it is the cost and the quality of the program, which attracts such an international cohort. I'm pretty sure that your online MBA program has the most international cohort of any online degree program anywhere, which is
Yeah, I
really
think so.
remarkable. Now, Ravi, what do you like most about teaching at the school?
So you'll see my answer is gonna, or my thoughts are going to align with what Maria has talked about. So again, we have all these international students. So I teach in online MBA program, but besides that, I also teach students in the classroom from different backgrounds. I teach engineers, I teach business students, and I also teach medical students.
Huh?
And I think that is what I love about not only Gies, the students, but how Gies has gone out and collaborated with other institutions and other, units in across campus. So in my class, we have undergrad engineers, and I teach a master level engineering students. And it's fascinating, again, as I was saying earlier, these people bringing their background and their experiences in and talking about innovation and creativity from their own perspective. And then you bring the business perspective in. It's just beautiful. Same thing with medical students. They bring in their healthcare background, and they're talking about healthcare issues and problems. And we're talking about how can we solve that using engineering driven solutions that would have some consumer relevant or user relevance to that. And then when you see and you put medical students, engineers, and business students in one room, it's just a beautiful learning environment. I would say it's just fabulous, and that
Yeah.
is what I enjoy the most here at Gies.
So you're using your GE Healthcare Technologies work, leveraging it into, I'm sure, your med school student classes.
Yeah, that is correct. Yes.
Yeah. Clara, what do you most enjoy about teaching at Gies?
Yeah, I've also been teaching the online MBA program in the last 2 years, and I wanted to echo what Maria and Ravi have said. It's just absolutely amazing to see our learners share their insights from their real-world experiences from these diverse industries and diverse backgrounds, and apply their insights to the managerial accounting topics. It's absolutely amazing to see that, and they're super engaged in learning, not just in learning the concepts, but they are super engaged in applying what
Yes.
they have learned to their work. Like they wanted to implement a new system right away. A lot of them are small business owners, and they are very excited about applying what they have learned. So I
Indeed.
find that fascinating.
And that's the beauty of the online MBA as well, because everyone pretty much has a job. So you can
Mm,
immediately apply what you learn in the classroom and then bring it back and talk about it, and what worked, what didn't work, what made a difference. which is
Yeah.
super helpful. Now, the Gies has a brand promise, and I think it's very distinctive. It's simply called Business on Purpose. And I wonder, how do you help your students find that purpose and align their own personal goals and aspirations in a career that's meaningful to them? Ravi?
So for me, in the classroom, whether it's been online or in person, it's about how do you inspire these students? How do you inspire, especially when I teach undergrad students, these young minds, right? Opening up world for them. And the big thing again in this creativity and innovation courses and new product development courses is all about bringing diversity of thought. Respecting what other person is saying. Can you
True.
include in your thought processes other people's perspectives? And that this diverse perspective is, and it not only helps in their performance in the classroom, but even outside the classroom, where they start looking at, why is someone saying this? Can I understand? Can I, include that or align that with my own thought process? And that definitely helps them thinking about this purpose. What is their purpose in life? Why are they doing this? Or not only about in a bigger scheme of things, like every small action. And that is what we do in the classroom, understanding the why of everything. And I think that is the beauty of, again, even my research is all about cognitive psychology. I bring that in, uh, understanding the underlying mechanism of things. And then in the classroom, we do the same thing. Why? And that why leads them to think more about, this purpose and bigger purpose in life, and then what they want to do when they go out.
True.
Mm.
Now, Maria, I wonder how you make Business on Purpose come alive in your classes.
Yeah, very similar. And I'm kind of smiling because Ravi and I, we work on other things together, and we joke that sometimes we are like too similar. And so there are so many of the topics that he said that really resonate, because for me, it's also like all about inspiration and the why. So it's not, I teach marketing, strategic marketing management. And so I really want to focus that we don't just understand the what and the how, but as Ravi was saying, very important to understand the why. And this could be in a number of ways. Why are, and also like drawing from my experience, why are consumers behaving this way? Because then you can be more effective with your strategies, because you're going, you're targeting the root of the issue, but also the whys in general, in like, why would a company want to, like pursue this specific strategy, and also thinking of the broader ramifications. And so this is also the other thing that I would add to what Ravi said, given the course that I teach, also inspiring them to think not just of the bottom line, but also of the broader societal impact that different strategies could have, so that this is also aligned with the greater purpose, and thinking of the purposes of them as employees or entrepreneurs and companies beyond just the economic one.
Yeah, that's great. Now, Claire, you might think that accounting would be a little more elusive in terms of Business on Purpose, just because it's such an integral part of business. But I wonder then how you make the why come alive in your teaching.
Yeah, that's a great question, John. So I wanted to build on what Maria said about companies needing to balance between profit maximization and greater goals such as sustainability and in the environment. So actually in our managerial accounting course, one of the most important topics is cost accounting, cost management. So just last Thursday, we talked about how we can apply cost accounting to carbon accounting. So we
Right.
can apply a very sophisticated costing system called activity-based costing, developed by Professor Robert Kaplan at Harvard Business School, to carbon accounting, so that we can better account for not just carbon emission of the company itself, but also the carbon emission from the company's entire value chain, entire supply chain. So the students get very excited about it, and turned out that we have several ESG specialists among our learners, and they share their insights. So in our, it's surprising how management accounting can be applied to address those grand challenges such as sustainability, inequality, and employee well-being. So we try to cover those issues so that our students are aware of how they can impact these grand challenges through their work, through their design of those control systems.
That's a great example, actually. I love that example because, you know, some people might think of accounting as just debits and credits and think of accounting in a very simplistic way. And here you're linking it directly to what many in this generation are very concerned about, which is the environment, climate change, and sustainability, which I love. So Clara, how do you think your academic life and your intellectual journey has basically changed you as a person?
Great question. So I'm super grateful for working in this very inclusive and collaborative environment at Gies. And I'm also very fortunate to collaborate with co-authors from different cultures and different backgrounds on many research projects. And I'm also blessed to teach students from all over the world with diverse perspectives and backgrounds. And in addition to that, in my research, I also apply theories and methodologies from different disciplines, including economics, psychology, and sociology, to management accounting topics. So all of those diverse experiences and interactions have expanded my horizons, and I think have made me a more curious, compassionate, and collaborative human being.
Yeah, I could definitely get that. Maria, I'm assuming that there might be some similarities
Although
there
that's a
with
tough,
you.
yeah, that's a tough answer to top. I love Clara's answer, but I would say, similarly, I would, it has made me very grateful because I still sometimes cannot believe that I have this job where I get to, satiate my curiosity, but also, like connect with so many people and keep learning in that respect. But then the other thing, and it's a good and a bad thing, and John, it relates to something that you said at the beginning, when we were all talking about like our curiosity, it can turn you into a little bit obsessive because I get so curious about so many things. And so, that has obviously like some pros and cons. Sometimes, it's difficult to really decide which questions I'm going to focus on to conduct the research. And then on the personal side, my husband gets a tiny little bit annoyed when I was like, I want to know more about these. And I just go into like these rabbit holes and like wanting to go the answer. But overall, it's just like very, very grateful that I can do this for a living.
I'm sure your husband also knows that that's one of the reasons why he loves you so much.
You know what? Can we please have the recording of this so that I can share with him?
Ravi, your fascinating intellectual journey has led to how you think about the world, obviously. How has it changed you as a person?
I'd say a few things there. So again, my thought processes are not very different from Maria and Clara here. So now, even, and this is, I don't know if I have started to think this way, and that is why I teach this, or I teach this, and that is why I think it's all interlinked. It's about why, all these processes, all these behaviors, trying to understand why is someone doing, or even, even my behavior. So over this weekend, I had a friend over who's also an academic, and then we were drinking like fine wine. It was about a $200 bottle of wine, and we were enjoying the wine. And then we got into this discussion, and I'm sure for Maria and Clara, same thing happened. Why would someone spend this much money on the wine? There was another one, a $20 bottle of, or say $30 or $50 bottle of wine right there. Why? What goes into this? And then the whole discussion for next almost about hour and a half was all about why people engage in this kind of behavior, and then what's the we just totally started to go down that hole and, understanding why. And then by end of it, I think we have a research idea to work on. So that is, that is one thing. Another thing, how it has changed me is I'm much more open to listening to other people's perspective and see, how someone is approaching a problem, how are they solving the problem, and what's the reason behind it, which helps me overall as a human being, not only as an academic, but as a human being, to be more inclusive, to be, more respectful for of other people's thought processes. The final thing I would say, and this has not only more about my journey as an academic, but also what we stand for as a college, as a school, like Business on Purpose. We talked about what is my purpose here as an academic, what is my purpose as an instructor or a faculty member when I'm standing in that classroom, or as a researcher, what value do I bring to this world, to this school, to the society? I think that also has all come together, just me being an academic, and especially being in this environment that Gies promotes.
That's great. Ravi, you may know this, but I was Jack Welch's collaborator on his book, Straight from the Gut. And
Yes.
one of the things that Jack said, and of course, for those of you who may not know, Welch was the legendary chairman and CEO of General Electric Company for 20 years. He's passed away, but one of the things he said is that, when he was young, he didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, so he was relatively cheap, and he always bought cheap wine. But after he had suffered a heart attack, he swore to God he'd never buy a bottle of wine for less than $100. So I think, Ravi, you and your friend enjoying that wonderful bottle of wine over the weekend may be able to relate to that Jack Welch quote. Why buy cheap when you can buy better?
You're right. And in so many ways, John, again, this is my pre-academic journey. I've been inspired by Jack's words. And I think that was one of the things also that encouraged me to come into academia. One of the things, the motto at the GE was learn shamelessly. And that is what I have pursued. Whether you think I'm smart or not does not really matter, as long as I'm learning something new. And that is what I've applied to everyday life, understanding, getting feedback, promoting, forwarding my research. So Jack Welch, again, I think I have one of the books here is Straight from the Gut. So yes.
He's a legend.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, Ravi, Clara, and Maria, thank you so much for joining us. I really enjoyed our conversation. And for all of you out there, this is just a little taste of the incredible passion and love and obsession for the business disciplines that each of our guests represent today, and for pursuing business on purpose at Gies. So thanks for joining our faculty roundtable discussion. And again, Ravi, Clara, Maria, thank you so much, and good luck to you. Have fun in the classroom.
Thank you. And thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you, John. Thank you.